Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Thank you guys so much for joining me here today for a brand new pick a card reading. For anyone that's new to my channel, hello and welcome in. My name is Melissa, and today's reading is going to be what is happening for you this upcoming Libra season. So as I'm uploading this video, we are getting ready to transition into Libra season. The dates are about September 22nd through October 23rd. So when I think of Libra season, I think of a couple of different themes that we may potentially encounter in our lives during this time. When I think of the sign of Libra, I think of themes of balance and harmony, and specifically striving for balance and harmony within our relationships. Could be romantic relationships for some, just relationships in general for others. When I think of Libra, I also think of themes of fairness, justice, even legal issues or legal things that we could be dealing with during this time. And also beauty, whether that's physical appearance, inner beauty, lots of different meanings to that. So in today's video, essentially what I'm going to be looking into are what general themes you guys are going to be dealing with, what situations are ahead for you specifically during Libra season. So some of the themes that I mentioned may specifically come up that are unique to Libra season, but I really kept the reading really open in general just to see whatever message came through that you needed to hear. So let's go ahead and get into some disclaimers. First and foremost, this is a general reading, so please keep in mind that some messages may resonate quite specifically to your situation while others may not. As I always say, if it doesn't apply, let it fly. Please don't get upset or take it personally if something in a general YouTube reading isn't super specifically fitting your situation to the T. If you guys did want to book a personal reading, all the details on how you can do that will be linked in the description box down below. Personal readings, as you know, are always a better way to get a more specific read on your own situation. This is also kind of a time-based reading too, you guys, because we are sort of looking ahead into the future. So with any prediction style reading, also keep in mind that you're not tied or bound to anything that a tarot reading says, because energy is always changing because the future is not set in stone. So if you see something predicted out for you for Libra season and you don't like what you see, you always have the free will to switch up your actions a little bit, switch up your energy, switch up your mindset, and potentially create a totally different outcome for yourself. So let's go ahead and get into our pile selection. We're going to be working with 3 piles today, per usual. Starting on the left with pile 1, we have a Pyrite cluster. For pile number 2, we have a Labradorite heart. And for pile number 3, we have an Amethyst cluster. So I want you guys to go ahead and take a deep breath. Think about what's ahead for you during Libra season. Go ahead and select the pile or crystal that you're feeling the most intuitively connected to. And once you've made your choice, you can scroll down to the description box below where you can locate the timestamp that will take you to your chosen pile. See you there. Hello there, group number 1. If you guys picked out the Pyrite cluster, this will be your reading all about what's happening for you during Leo season. So I'm going to go ahead and kick things off with some oracle cards. I don't know where I want this to be. I think I want it over here. I'm recording their video like at nighttime or the sun is starting to set, so the light always gets weird. Anyways, let's go ahead and start. So overall energies for you, pile 1, we have Leo. Ooh, and then we have the North Node. Wow, okay. So during Libra season, I see that you guys are sort of, I think, stretching outside of your comfort zone a little bit. I think because we have the North Node here, this is sort of all about being on track towards our life's purpose, right? Or what our destiny is, if that's what you believe in, if that's how you like to phrase it. So the reason that I say that you guys may be pushing yourselves out of your comfort zone is because with the North Node, as we're aligning with our purpose and aligning on the path that feels the most, correct to us, or the best fit for us, a lot of times this means that we have to let go of old stuff, right? Old connections that no longer serve us, old jobs that no longer serve us, old energies, situations, friendships. So sometimes when we see the North Node coming up in a reading, this can definitely feel like we're experiencing some sort of loss, but the loss is actually needed in order for us to embrace and align ourselves with the future that we're desiring to create. So ultimately, this ends up being a good thing. And I feel like with Leo coming up, you guys are, moving through this time with courage, right? When I think of Leo, I think of courageousness. I think of confidence. I think of being outgoing. I think of leadership, right? Really speaking your truth. I'm really seeing how the lion has its mouth open, right? So there's definitely an energy of you guys really stepping into your power during Libra season and really aligning yourselves with what your purpose is or what your desired path is through embodying confident, outgoing energy. For some of you guys, I don't know why I keep getting that this confident, outgoing energy could be a little bit of a challenge for you. Because again, with the North Node, we're stepping into our purpose. We're having to leave the old you behind. So for some of you guys, maybe this is a newer embodiment of self, is stepping into this confidence. For others of you, maybe this isn't quite natural to you and you're just kind of sliding into it with no issues. But either way, I do feel that during this time, you guys are being guided to show up as a confident leader within your own situation, whether it's leading others or just within taking leadership of your own path. We also have grace. This says, grace, blessing, come to me, set me free. Okay. We also have prosperity. As this tree grows so strong, so fine, so may I prosper from the universal divine. I love it. Yeah, so this is definitely a time where I feel that you guys are going to be able to really bear the fruits of your labor with that prosperity energy coming through. Either that, we're going to get more info with the tarot here in a second, but the other thing I'm getting with this is this North Node energy. I think whatever it is that you guys have identified as being your purpose or your true path that feels the most intuitively in alignment with you, where you can really be your authentic self, like getting onto this path is actually leading you to a much more prosperous life. So even if going into Libra season, you haven't quite seen the fruits of your labor yet, I feel like what Spirit is saying is that you guys are on the right track. And you guys have that yellow energy here again, kind of like with Leo. So it's definitely a time period where you guys are kind of, I think, stepping into who you authentically are, being okay with genuine expression of self is leading you onto this path of prosperity. You guys also have grace. So this is sort of about being gentle with yourself, forgiving yourself. I'm also kind of seeing here, we have 3 women, like they almost look like sisters to me or friends, whatever. But there could be relationships, we are in Libra season, right? So again, kind of tying back into some of the themes, right? I'm wondering for some of you guys if you are sort of leaving behind old connections, right? And maybe there's something about that feels challenging or that you regret or that you're feeling guilty over. And I think, again, what Spirit is saying is that you need to be gentle with yourself. Practice forgiveness of self, because ultimately you're needing during this time to move on to the path that feels the truest to you. And sometimes when we're morphing and transitioning into a new version of ourselves, those older connections, like those people, they're not in alignment with that new version. They don't really see us in that way. They see us as our old self, and that can ultimately cause a lot of friction when we have goals that we're trying to achieve for our life, right? Maybe it's like negative opinions from them or them sort of like bringing you down in some way. So anyway, this is what I'm saying here is that this is going to be a time of a lot of positive energy and prosperity for you, feeling really good and confident, but there is an element of needing to be gentle with yourself and practice some forgiveness, I think especially around relationships. So let's get into the tarot. We have a 9 of Swords coming up, okay? We have the 2 of Cups. And we have the Chariot. Wow, so really powerful movements, you guys. Yeah, with that 9 of Swords, there's definitely an energy of feeling a bit anxious over this. Now, for some of you, I definitely feel, because we have the 2 of Cups right next to it, that this anxiety is over connections, maybe a specific relationship or just connections in general in your life. Because you guys are on the move here with the Chariot. You guys are driving toward your goals during this time, So there could be some feelings of guilt that you guys are associating with sort of pushing yourself away from some of these old connections, or a specific connection here. The other thing I'm getting, though, for some of you guys is that during this time, I also think you guys are going to have a lot of eyes on you with Leo. Leo is sort of like the shining star of the zodiac. They love to be in the spotlight. They're usually a very magnetic type of personality that's very comfortable with being the center of attention. And remember how I was kind of picking up on you guys maybe not being super comfortable with that? You also have a number 5 here, which indicates challenges, change, right? So I'm getting here with this 9 of Swords that there is still maybe a little bit of anxiety that you guys have around being seen in that way. There is still a lot of anxiety you have around a lot of people watching you, looking at you. Maybe you guys kind of feel that people are sort of nitpicking you or scrutinizing you during this time. But I think what's important to know that I'm seeing in this card is that these appear to be sort of these like almost ghost-like figures. Like they're not even really there for real. It's sort of like in her imagination. You see how the clouds are sort of around them here? So I think that anything you guys are experiencing around like feeling fearful that people are nitpicking at you or ridiculing you, I think that that's really more in your head than you think. Because I see here with the 2 of Cups and the Chariot that you guys are aligning with the right people. Now, for some of you guys, this could be a specific romantic relationship or a specific just important connection or just your connections in general at this time, because you are stepping into your power and aligning yourselves with your true purpose. You're starting to attract in those more harmonious connections in your life in any category, whether it's, family, friends, platonic, romantic, whatever it is. And through these connections that are balanced and harmonious, you guys are achieving success here with the Chariot. The Chariot is about a victory. So you guys are winning this month. There's prosperity here for you. You're on the right path. And I also think that this is a very goal-oriented energy, which makes sense with Leo here. So let's see. I've got a few more cards here. But yeah, it definitely feels like Libra season. You guys are very much like on the move. You're very much driving towards something that you're passionate about in a really powerful way. And I think through this, the biggest lesson I'm seeing thus far is just releasing the past, being gentle with yourself, and aligning with the right people to help you with your success. So we have camera. This is, oh my gosh, this is reminiscing, keepsake, perception, learn from the past, and making memories. So you guys are being guided at this time to kind of like reflect on the past and learn from it. So I think that that's kind of what's happening with the North Node, because if you weren't learning your lesson, we would have the South Node card here, because the South Node is sort of about repeated lessons and karma, right? So you guys have learned lessons from the past, and you're a different person than you were in your past. So I think it's important for you to keep that in mind. And I really think that this energy here of the 9 of Swords is still some of that lingering past energy, right? We have perception coming up here. So I think that's kind of what this is about, is like, how do you want to be perceived during this time? Or maybe you're worried about the way you're being perceived. But I'm seeing someone that's coming across as very confident and willing to work with others, willing to forgive others, goal-oriented, driven, motivated. I'm only seeing positive things. And so I think that that is more than likely how others are perceiving you as well. So let's see, let's grab another one. We also have Ascending. This says transcending obstacles, learning, expansion, a new phase, preparing for union. Love this for you guys, pile 1. Yep, you guys are definitely ascending to the next level, the next chapter in your life during this time. I think that you've learned a lot of really important lessons in the past, and now you're ready to move on. It's almost like you're leveling up like a video game. You've defeated the last boss. Now you're going on to the next one. I also am drawn to how this is talking about being prepared for union too, with that 2 of Cups. So I definitely think for a lot of you guys, there is some sort of maybe like romantic connection surfacing for you during this time. And if the person or the connection doesn't necessarily present itself, then this is just about getting yourself into alignment to meet that person. But yeah, I mean, overall, it looks beautiful, pile 1. Let's close it out with one more message. Oop. We have Pyrite. It says trust. So Pyrite is actually a crystal that's really good for healers to work with. So maybe some of you guys are healers, but they say that this crystal is like the healing stone for the healer. So maybe a lot of you guys out there do have healing abilities, or you work with people and you dedicate your energy to others. I could definitely see that with the 2 of Cups being here, like you're a support system to others. So working with this crystal could be beneficial for some of you if you do resonate with that. But the other thing too with Pyrite, with it being green, this is really highlighting your heart chakra. So again, with the Two of Cups, which is all about our emotions, and we have forgiveness energy here, I think that this is just further echoing the need to sort of forgive and release the past so that you're fully open and vulnerable and ready for the new that's coming into you. And this looks beautiful, pile one. This is like victory. Maybe some of you guys are moving physically with the Chariot card too. I think that could be a thing for someone out there. Like you're actually physically moving. For others of you, this might just be like an energetic move towards, a new phase in your life. So anyways, pile one, I think we're going to close the reading out there. I would love to hear from you in the comments how you feel that it resonates with you and your situation. So please drop me a note down below and let me know. If you guys are not already, please do subscribe to the channel and hit the bell. This way you guys are aware when I'm uploading new videos. And if you do want to support the channel, you can always send me a tip by hitting the super thanks button. All right, guys, see you in a new one soon. Bye. Hey there, pile two. If you guys picked out this beautiful Labradorite, this is going to be your reading for Libra season. So let's start by looking into the overall energy that you guys are working with during this time. And we start off with the Imamqueli. I don't know if I'm saying that right. I see. Okay, I see. We're going to abbreviate. We also have the Sarah Semi-Square Quincunx. Okay. All right. So, pile two. I think that during Libra season, you guys are kind of being provided an opportunity here to examine some sort of root cause to a problem, okay? With the square, semi-square quincunx, this is specifically highlighting tension, and you can see that we have these two birds kind of clashing here. So I feel like during this time, there's a couple things I'm seeing. Number one, I think some of you guys may be faced with a challenging situation, and I'm specifically feeling like this is going to be around a relationship or relationships in general. There's something here about like differences of opinion, different life experiences, and how we're kind of coming together and really embracing that and learning from each other versus butting heads, right? But I think the bigger thing with whatever this tension energy is coming over here to the IC, which talks about roots, okay? I feel like there is something from your past, from your childhood, your ancestry, your lineage, that is maybe like a learned behavior or experience that is sort of the root cause behind whatever this tension energy is, okay? So for instance, if you grew up like in a chaotic household where fighting was the way that people dealt with problems and it was like open fighting, maybe this is the way that you've subconsciously done things as an adult. Or on the flip side, maybe when there's conflict in your household, you were taught to kind of shrink back and that you didn't stand up for yourself. And that's maybe the way that you're showing up in this situation. So those are just examples. I'm not saying either one of those things are specifically what's happening for you, pile two, but there's definitely something here about exploring the root cause of some sort of a learned behavior around relationships. Or challenging energies in general. Challenges. It doesn't necessarily have to be about relationships. I'm kind of feeling it is because we're in Libra season, but it could just be how you manage challenging situations in general and tension in your life in general. Are you able to learn from it? Are you able to look at it as an opportunity to grow and expand? Or is there a lot of friction that's experienced? The other kind of flipped energy that I'm getting from this is that maybe you guys are kind of exploring your roots, your ancestry, your lineage, and there's some sort of tension that comes out of that. So it could be a different situation for some of you guys out there where you're sort of unearthing things from the past, and maybe this is causing some sort of conflict because we're maybe learning things we weren't expecting to learn. So let's continue here. So we have Justice. Okay. Very fitting for that to come up during a Libra reading. We also have Confidence. Okay. Yeah, so kind of going back to what I was talking about with, the way you're showing up in these tense situations. It doesn't necessarily have to mean that you guys are dealing with like fighting, but there's something that's needing to be addressed. There's some sort of friction. There's some sort of differences that you guys are experiencing with another person or people or group or something. And so I feel like Libra season is a time where you're kind of flexing the muscle of confidence a little bit more. So this is, again, twofold. It's going to depend on you and your situation. This is a general reading, but For some of you guys, I'm feeling like you're learning to show up more confidently in tense situations, to stand up for yourself. Let my confidence take light, burn higher, right? For others of you, though, it could be flipped because we also have Justice here, which is sort of about keeping things neutral, cool, calm, and collected, right? So maybe for others of you, this tension energy is more like you showing up as being too confident and domineering in a situation, and your lesson during this time is how to kind of even things out a bit. So confidence in the way that you're dealing with conflict is coming through really strong, and learning, I think, not to lose yourself in the tension or to allow yourself to be walked all over. Striving for balance here with Justice. This says, deliver justice to me by the power of 3 by 3. So I think what this is kind of referencing is like, you know, putting out good deeds and having them come back to you threefold, right? Or conversely, it talks about like whatever energy you put out there, whether it's positive or negative, it's going to come back to you threefold. So for some of you guys with Justice coming up here, something from the past is coming back to you during this time. It can be positive, it can be negative, it can be neutral, but it's coming back around. And I think it's providing you this opportunity to really, again, examine what's the root cause here. So let's continue. This is very interesting. Let's go into the tarot. So for you guys, we have the Ace of Swords, the Knight of Cups, and the Magician. Interesting. So with that Ace of Swords, I'm definitely seeing clarity coming in, a clear conversation, which I think is probably necessary in any sort of tense situation. I think it can be good to sort of directly clear the air so that everybody's on the same page and everyone kind of understands. I'm also feeling like you guys during this time, if this is not about specifically communicating or cutting to the heart of a matter, what I feel is that this is also thinking about this situation in a different way, kind of having a light bulb moment, an aha moment around this energy, which makes sense because sometimes when you dig deeper and look at the root cause of whatever the issue is, you can unlock something that's like so illuminating and you're like, wow, now this totally changes how I view this whole entire situation. And with this Ace of Swords kind of being surrounded by this cloud, it is making me feel like it's a clear idea, clear thinking that's coming through for you guys. You guys also did choose the Labradorite, which is great for like you're fine-tuning your psychic abilities. So I'm feeling like, you know, again, this is helping you to see the situation clearly for what it is, right? Versus sometimes when our third eye is blocked, we're not trusting our intuition. We're not trusting the signals that are being put out there. And so we ruminate over it instead of just being able to clearly see it for what it is. But you guys, I think, are getting some sort of, you know, clear cognizance over the situation, clear knowing, clairvoyance maybe. I think with the Knight of Cups, you know, this for me is kind of talking about like tying into the confidence energy. And again, as you guys are sort of, and with the Magician card here, as you guys are dealing with whatever the conflict is, wherever the tension point is in your life during this time, I think you guys are kind of learning how to go about the situation in a way that kind of smooths things over and gets you what you need. Because the Knight of Cups is definitely like really good with their words. They're very good at building relationships because they're good at building that emotional connection and sort of charming someone. And the Magician is also a charmer. So I kind of feel like you guys know in order to get whatever it is that you need out of the situation, you may have to go about it with more of a sweet approach, right? More of a confident and sweet approach. But there's definitely, I feel with the Magician card here, something that you guys are wanting. Like there's some sort of result that you're wanting to get from the situation. There's manifestation energy here. I'm also feeling with that Magician card here, again, going back to this card of the tension, right? This is all about kind of building and strengthening weak muscles. Magician energy is very much about like being in that learning zone. You know, Magician is the master of the elements. So this is about having the tools and skills needed to be able to manifest whatever outcome you're desiring for yourself. So there's kind of an element of you guys almost being in the learning zone during this time as you deal with the situation as well. I'm also feeling for some out there, because again, it's Libra season, so I think of relationships. The Knight of Cups could actually be like someone from the past, or just someone in general coming in to have like express some sort of romantic gesture towards you. And maybe this is someone that you guys have manifested in for some of you guys. What I would say, if this is about you guys manifesting in a person, I keep being guided to go back here to this Justice card of like, what you have put out in the past is coming back to you threefold, right? So it just is going to kind of depend on the work that you've done, what kind of result you manifest in is what I feel. So let's look at these cards next. We have the Dragonfly. This is saying being lighthearted, finding out, things coming to light, adapting, changing, and healing. Yes. So that's what I feel with this Ace of Swords, right? Like you guys are sort of having this realization about this situation. You're learning more information with things coming to light here, and it's allowing you to take a different approach, right? And I think the approach is going to be learning how to deal with conflict in a more like confident but still kind way, dealing with conflict in a way that allows you to achieve your desired result, okay? There's healing happening through this transformation. We also have the coffee cup here. You know what else I'm getting, you guys, is that I think that both of these cards are telling me there's like, and with the Knight of Cups, I feel like you guys are trying to take a more lighthearted approach to this situation as well. It's kind of, this card mentions that here. So even though there might be drama happening, it's like whatever it is, maybe it's like family drama for someone out there, but like whatever it is, I feel like the vibe is more about like lightening the mood. You know what I mean? Lightening the mood, going out and chatting about it over coffee, keeping things casual. You know what I mean? Instead of taking it so seriously and almost feeding into any negativity here. Just trying to keep things balanced, you know, balancing out someone else's tension with your positivity. Again, I am getting another message for some of you guys about love here, because this card and the Knight of Cups are making me kind of think someone might be asking you out on a date during this time. But it would be like with the coffee cup, it's going to be more like friendship, or, you know, just like, yeah, like friendship, or just more of like a casual, chill kind of situation where we're catching up, getting to know each other, things like that. So let's close it out with one more card, pile 2. And for you guys, we have Fluorite, which is talking about learning. And that is exactly what I feel. I definitely think that you guys are going through, you're learning a lesson, you know, during this time. You guys are, again, you're flexing and building some metaphorical muscles during this time that are giving you the skills and abilities that you need to manifest whatever it is that you are desiring here. Fluorite too, from what I remember, and I don't know where my phone is. I was going to say I could look it up, but I think fluorite is also a really good crystal for keeping your thoughts organized and achieving clarity, which makes a lot of sense here with this Ace of Swords. There's definitely something here for you this month about being able to see the situation from a much more clear perspective through finding out information at a root cause level. So it's really good. It's empowering you to try a different approach to see if you can create a different outcome for yourself. So pile 2, this is really interesting. I would love to hear from you in the comments what aspects you feel resonate the most with your situation. So please drop me a note down below and let me know. If you guys are not already, please do subscribe to the channel and hit the bell. This way you are informed when I upload new videos. And if you do want to support the channel, you can also do that by clicking the super thanks button. Thanks, guys. I'll see you soon. Bye. Hey, pile 3, if you guys picked out this Amethyst cluster, this is going to be your reading for Libra season. So let's go ahead and kick things off with some oracle cards just to kind of see what the overall energies are that you're working with during this time. So for you, pile 3, we have the Sun. Ooh, and we have the first house. Okay. Arrival. You guys are here in Libra season. So, wow. Okay. So the Sun is kind of talking about like your core personality, who you are, on a deep fundamental level. And also the things that kind of bring you vitality in your life, because the Sun makes me think of vitality. But with the first house being here, I feel like you guys, for some of you guys, I almost feel like you're stepping into a new situation during Libra season, because just with the first house saying arrival, I feel like there's an energy of you guys like stepping into a new situation that might be really igniting to you in a good way. Like it really allows you to kind of express your personality to its truest extent. The other thing I'm getting with both of these cards, though, as well, is there may be an energy during this time for you guys to really reflect on how people perceive your personality. So maybe you guys are stepping into a new situation, maybe you're not, but there's definitely something here with the first house about like understanding the way that your personality is coming across to others. And that can be, you know, positive insights and reflections, or it can also be, you know, the sun kind of shining a light on the areas where you may not be being perceived in the best light, right? So I feel that there's just something about how others are viewing you that's coming up for you during Libra season. So let's continue. We have sensuality. Okay. We also have glamour. Okay. Yes. I love that this came up because I don't know if I mentioned this in the intro, but I know that Libra, the sign of Libra also is associated with beauty, which makes sense. And law, of course, but it's interesting that it came up in somebody's reading. So some of you guys during this time, especially with both of these cards here, I definitely feel that there's an emphasis on your appearance and the way that you're showing up, right? What's the image that you're putting out to others? Maybe some of you guys are sort of like rebranding something in your life. It could be literally like rebranding yourself or changing up your look, you know, trying new things with your looks because maybe you want to just sort of like show up totally new and different or express your personality in a way that you haven't been able to do in a while. Maybe I keep seeing hair, so maybe some of you guys are getting your hair done. There's hair in this one too. Look at that. Yeah, maybe someone out there is like getting a totally new look with their hair. And maybe it's like shifting the way people are viewing you because maybe like whatever you guys might be doing with your physical appearance could be something that where people are going to really notice the difference. Like it could be something big, but it's something that feels in alignment with what makes you happy. It feels in alignment with your personality. And with sensuality too, this is talking about some beautiful themes of like dancing. It says, I dance, I love, I laugh, I play. So I also feel like this is a time where you guys are sort of learning the things that make you happy in life. Again, the things that really feed your personality and bring it to life. So do you like to dance? What do you love to do? What makes you laugh? What are your hobbies? What are your interests? I think this is a time of discovery for you guys as well, into kind of figuring out the things that you like, that bring you joy, and that feel the most aligned for you. So let's continue with the tarot next. We have the Three of Wands, the Ace of Wands, and the Queen of Cups. Nice. Lots of passion energy coming through with the Three of Wands and the Ace of Wands, you guys. There's definitely, like, with the Three of Wands, sort of like a planning energy that I'm seeing here. You know, so the Three of Wands is sort of like when you are looking out into the future and you're coming up with like a step-by-step plan to reach your goals, okay? And sort of really zooming the lens out wide and envisioning the big picture. So there's definitely some long-term forward thought that's being put into this energy during Libra season for you guys. I don't know why, but do you guys see that? Does that say Matt? I don't know. Obviously, that's like the artist signature maybe, but like, I don't know why I was really like drawn to that. Is somebody named Matt watching my video, or is there someone named Matt of significance to some of you guys in pile 3? If there is, please let me know because that would be really interesting. Is Matt like a long distance person for some of you with the Three of Wands? I don't know. Because Three of Wands can also be like a long distance, like connection sort of vibes. But anyways, that's totally a tangent for someone out there probably. But yeah, I think that you guys are kind of like in this place of, you know, taking a pause at the beginning of Libra season and really deciding, like, what are the things that bring me joy? Where do I see myself going? And how am I going to actually plan and intentionally infuse some of these joyous behaviors into my life on a regular basis? With the Ace of Wands, this is also kind of talking about like going after your passions, which I think really aligns with these energies of like, who are you and what are the things that make you happy? What are the things that bring you to life, right? So there's some sort of like inspired action that I feel you guys wanting to take during Libra season. And again, with the Ace, it feels like new beginning energy for a lot of you guys. Like you're definitely starting something new, or you're embarking on some sort of new habits and behaviors during this time. But the Ace of Wands is awesome because this is all about the sensuality stuff. It's literally about sensuality, like intimacy in that way. But it's also about like the fun things in life that bring you excitement and joy. And with the Queen of Cups, you know, there's also an element of emotional fulfillment for you guys during this time as well. Through, I think, exploring your passions and putting yourself out there a little bit more to have a little bit more fun. Your cup is being filled. This is also a really beautiful card too. So again, I'm kind of feeling an echo of that message of that physical appearance, and really I think that through you guys kind of putting yourselves out there a little bit more and exploring what makes you happy, it is going to like almost internally exude externally, if that makes sense. So it may not even be that you guys have to like physically do anything to your appearance. I think that there's just going to be an energetic shift that people perceive in you of being very beautiful and receptive and loving and open, because you guys are now engaging in hobbies and interests and activities and behaviors that truly align with who you are and who you want to be. Let's see what else. So we have Hammer. This says sabotage, rebuilding, interrogation, repetitive, persistent, and working on it. Yes. So maybe like for some of you guys, this energy of self-exploration is new. I mean, I feel like I keep saying this over and over again, but like there's an energy of working on it and being persistent. I also like that this says rebuilding, because I was kind of getting that energy of like rebranding yourself for some of you. The point is with the Hammer is that this is something that you're actually going to have to put effort into. You know, the Ace of Wands, and I kind of always give this disclaimer with any ace that comes up in a reading, is that the Ace of Wands is like potential for inspired action. But in order for it to actually turn into something, you have to act on it. You have to put in effort. And I see that happening here with the Hammer, that like you have these great ideas and excitement about your future and some things you want to do, but the Hammer is saying you have to actually like put it into play, put it into practice. And that's where the Three of Wands comes in, where it's more like, how am I going to plan for this change that I want to see? We also have engagement ring. This says engagement, partnership, commitment, eternity, completion, and union. So I'm not getting a ton of romantic vibes from this pile. This could be something happening during Libra season for some of you, and maybe that kind of fits into some of the themes we talked about. But what I'm really getting from this engagement ring are two things: a higher level of engagement in your life, but then also the completion of a cycle. And this also kind of mentions like repetitive energy here. Right? So I feel that you guys are closing out a chapter. And again, you're stepping into something new with the first house and the Ace of Wands during this time. So there's a lesson that you've learned, and now you're able to kind of take whatever lessons and apply them in this current cycle. I think a higher level of engagement with your life, with your fun side, is definitely coming through for you guys during Libra season. Let's see. Closing us out, we have pyromorphite, patience. Interesting. You know, this is interesting because the Ace of Wands can also be sort of like fast-paced energy or like rushed energy. This card can also be like an impatient, irritated kind of energy too. So that could be something that you guys are experiencing during this time. If you're wanting to see movement, you feel like it's not happening fast enough. So it's interesting that you guys have this patience energy coming up. But I also kind of feel like that's already here with the Three of Wands. Like, I don't really see that you guys are in a rush for anything. I definitely feel that it's going to be important for you guys to kind of take this process slowly and channel this creative energy, this inspired energy, in a really like practical way is kind of what I'm getting here. I also think with this card, you know, being like a green colored crystal, this is highlighting the heart chakra. And it's interesting. I don't know if you guys checked in with any of the other piles, but both other piles also got green. So I think heart chakras are being activated for a lot of us during this Libra season. So again, this is like a time where you guys are able to really open up your heart space, you know, and really, you know, through aligning yourself and getting to know yourself on a deeper level and aligning yourself with your own values and hobbies and interests in the life that you want, I think it's helping you guys to kind of open up and be more emotionally expressive and emotionally authentic with others as well. So this is a very interesting reading, Pile 3. I would love to hear from you in the comments how you feel it resonates with your situation. So please drop me a note down below and let me know. If you're not already, please do subscribe to the channel and hit the bell. This way you guys are informed of when I'm uploading new content, and I look forward to seeing you in a new reading very soon. Bye.